I'm Mark Harrison, and welcome to Series 2 of the Big Change podcast brought to you by Callisto Grant. In this series, the focus is on leaders and entrepreneurs, people who break the mold and push back barriers to fulfill dreams and ambitions and are successful in their own right. We explore the change catalysts and how to maintain passion, focus and dedication over a long period of time.
I always believe that you have to be master of your own career and development. However, it's really important for organizations as well to support you.
And inspiring, there is no other way to describe the opening interview for Series 2 of the Big Change podcast. Klára Mészárosová, aged only 31 and a member of Generation Y, Klára has already relocated to Canada from her native Slovakia, returned home, changed her career path. Originally was going to study to be a doctor, now living in Hungary, and this is the big one, paid for her own MBA course and studied in her own time. In a world where it is difficult to convince the majority to recognize and appreciate the need to invest in their own personal development, Klára stands out as a role model and proof that it can be done and should be done. So, good morning, Klára.
Good morning, Mark. Hi.
So, as I was saying there in the introduction, you've already achieved more than most would in a lifetime. How would you describe yourself?
Well, I would say I'm restless. In other words, I can say I'm a really cheerful person and with a lot of energy and who loves to be one step ahead and is kind of determined in every situation to see the big picture and really happy when I can contribute. I really enjoy the activities that I'm part of and I'm super passionate about my work. Furthermore, I believe that I have the right dose of intellectual curiosity as well.
Yeah, we'll come back to that curiosity angle. Where does the drive come from?
I would say it's sort of an inner motivation, which is really hard to describe, a sort of a passion that to see one's work worthwhile, making an impact is really a positive change and that can give energy. Let it be delivering measurable financial results or supporting and motivating my team members.
Okay. Was this something that was instilled in you perhaps as a child? Is it parental influence, or was it just something that you, from a very early age, you were always kind of one of the group leaders at school, that kind of thing?
Yes, so my mother is a really influential character in my life, and she was the one who was always pushing me to achieve more. And I'm really proud that I have her as this influential character and a role model in my life. So I think I owe her a lot.
No, that's good to hear. And okay, so I mentioned in the introduction that you're in this Generation Y age group, which is somewhat much maligned at times. Would you agree with sort of my personal observations and opinions that there's a major lack of appreciation for personal development?
Yes, I believe we get lost in doing what's urgent and not important at times. And that goes with personal development as well. There's a sort of a tendency to get complacent once our formal studies are done when we're 25. And then we get lost in transactions at work and we carve out very little time for learning. I personally always wanted more than what the organization I work for could offer. And I know that has been my trademark as well, to be a safe self-learner. And I think one cannot treat workplace as an exclusive source of knowledge.
Yes, and even if it is, it's not just what's immediately in front of you. It's the in every company there's a lot more to it. If you go into the supply chain, the inventory, all different parts of the business, but you have to be curious yourself, don't you, to go and find a lot of that stuff out.
Yes, absolutely. I think this curiosity really is the one thing that can make you excel and stand out. So I always believe that you have to be master of your own career and development. However, it's really important for organizations as well to support you.
Yeah, we my company provides professional qualifications, particularly in digital training or in-house training, and they're frequently told that people don't have time to study, and we're looking at something like 20-30 minutes a day. And even those that do complete our course, in many cases, is then rather just discarded, a box ticking exercise. They don't put the designation or on LinkedIn or add it to their CV or anything like that. Yet you were completely different, and it was really refreshing to see that on when you got your confirmation of your graduation, you posted it on LinkedIn, and you were so happy to share that achievement, which is a great thing, I think, and how it should be. And how did you actually really feel then when you received the confirmation of your graduation?
Yes, so I felt extremely happy that I completed this journey with the MBA studies, and I really felt it was a great decision, and I felt confident and even more confident than, of course, when I started studying. So I don't regret this decision, and I believe people should take pride in what they achieve, and they should actually post in LinkedIn if you say this example. So I think we have to be humble enough to accept that even if we arrive to a sort of end of a phase, a journey in education, then there is more. So be humble, but be also proud of what you achieve and share it, because also knowledge sharing is part of how you can enrich the others around you as well.
And very much so, especially if you're a team leader and a manager. I think it's important to have skills and experience beyond that of just what's within your particular company.
Yes, absolutely. This is why I opted to study. So I really went ahead and took the risk, applied, and I'm really lucky and grateful to the university to have accepted me. So I had the chance to meet professionals who are in their careers for more than 10, even 20 years, and I could learn from them. So for me, besides the academic part and the academic learning, there were project works and presentations where I could collaborate with these professionals that really gave me an eye-opener on how businesses work. So I'm really thankful for that.
And it's great to be able to spend time with other people doing the same thing but from different environments, in the study zone.
Yes, absolutely. And this is how the trainings and the workshops at the university were also built up. So we could all collaborate and bring in our own ideas, not just what we have read in the books, in the case studies. So that has been really helpful.
Okay. So you're doing an MBA, which covered many different areas, accounting and finance and marketing and various other things. But you specialized in business service center, specific management competencies, and then you went on with that to be your thesis.
Yes, exactly. This is my professional experience so far, and it was easy for me to relate to this topic because there's really a lack of knowledge around what is needed from a manager in these centers.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem to have changed a great deal from when I was doing my degree, like 12, 15 years ago. Okay, so how long did the MBA course take?
Yeah, it took 2 years, so it was 4 semesters, and I started writing my thesis in the 3rd semester, and it was a research-based thesis. So I went ahead and I took several interviews with my colleagues.
Okay, what was the format? How were you combining work and study?
Yes, so the university classes took place every other weekend, and I see it was a sacrifice looking back, but certainly it paid off. When you have an ambitious goal, then challenges like still being at the university at 9 o'clock on a Saturday night seem crazy, however rewarding when you look back, and less painful when you have these goals and you want to achieve them. So yes, I felt lucky to undergo these challenges.
Yeah, and how did you organize your time?
So really, it's my agenda. That's my secret tool. I love to schedule everything. I think I'm punctual as well, and so so I made sure that I schedule time for study and for work, and of course a bit of free time. My personal motivation is to get things done before deadline, so I don't stress out. And this formula has so far worked out for me. And I always turn to this strategy when it comes to more stressful times at work and studies. And also looking back at these 2 years, I can say that juggling both work, leading a team, and business critical process, such as the process I'm responsible for in credit and cash collection, along with academic duties, made me actually succeed in both fields more than just having to work. Say, when you have more on your plate, I believe that putting more focus into one field and one activity at a hand helps you in general to achieve more in both of these responsibilities. And I really think there is nothing such as impossible when you have the passion, the right passion for your work, and the drive to study as well.
Totally agree. Yeah. And what would you say to the majority of people who don't want to do additional study, even like in our case, a maximum of say 30 hours, 20-30 minutes most days of the week?
Well, I would say that learning is a fantastic experience and they should give it a try. I really wish that everyone would become thirsty for knowledge. And I think that everyone must have at least one strong interest in a certain field or area or a dilemma that is worthwhile to explore. And at the end, this exploration and investment in time would enrich them.
What do you notice different now about your approach or attitude to your job?
Yes, I feel that I'm more competent. I feel that I can connect things on a higher level, and I feel that when there's a need for a quick strategy to be created, I know where to look for resources, and I can connect the dots. So in general, this is why I started the MBA. I wanted to feel more competent and a bit of, learn about what's outside the bubble of where I work. So I'm thankful for this.
And it's would you agree you feel more confident being aware, knowing there's more out there?
Yes, and I feel that still there's a lot more to explore. So I think it will be hard for me to stop studying. I believe there's more for me as well, and I look forward to any trainings and courses that I could participate in the future as well. And I hope that this knowledge sharing of mine that I practice with my team and with my senior team members as well, especially, that it will make an impact, and people will accept that there's greatness in pushing yourself towards the next step.
Yes, yeah, absolutely agree with that. And what you're kind of saying there, it becomes like an addiction, but it's a very nice addiction to have.
Yes, especially nowadays when there's a lot of opportunities. I think one can feel lucky that we can choose from so many options. Let it be universities, let it be other courses.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of places to gather knowledge if you want to, and you make the time. Yeah. When you were studying, did you become aware of knowledge gaps, perhaps not only for yourself, but as a general statement?
Yes. So in general, I'm lucky that the organization I'm part of promotes learning. However, there's just as much time as one can contribute to learning. And there's always some business critical issues to sort, and there's a lot of firefight. So a lot of times we're not aware of what's happening on a broader scope, and there's certainly gaps that one has to fill with learning. And we have to learn about the business functioning as a whole, and the risks and their impact.
Yeah, I think that certainly from my experience working with many different companies, there's kind of a recognized condition, but it applies to us all. It applies to me as well. a condition that's kind of called they don't know what they don't know. Right, and I think that's probably a nice way to describe the knowledge gaps you were just mentioning there.
Yeah.
And do you think the what you just described and the knowledge gaps and so on, do you think this is a contributor to the high attrition rates?
Yes, I certainly believe that it might be, but I think also that there is a general tendency to stay a shorter period of time within one organization, especially for millennials and Generation Z. However, with the right attitude from management and from the organizations, we can support the people and we can develop them. So on one hand side, I believe it's the individual's responsibility to invest in their professional learnings and professional development. However, if we want to work with the best-in-class people and the best professionals, then we have to make efforts in order to train them and to develop them. So I strongly believe that there's a lot we can do for having the best employees and the best workforce.
I think you're absolutely right. It's a two-way street, isn't it? And I think a lot of this attrition is caused because there aren't enough experienced managers who kind of say what you just said. Yeah, so you got the next group of people coming through, and they come up against a team leader or a manager who's largely gone through the same process with a limited amount of knowledge. So they say, well, yeah, this is probably it. This is about as far as we go. So you go from credit to accounts payable, and enjoy, which I think is a real shame, and it's a real waste. What would you recommend in the way of changes?
Yes, so I would recommend really to all professionals to be bold and imagine what they want to do next, to imagine a dream job and their best version of themselves, and that they should gather all the knowledge and exposure in order to be their best selves, and look for these trainings and courses, and actually select the right organizations that they would like to connect with, and embrace all the opportunities that are out there.
In your perfect world, how would the business service center environment look?
Certainly, I would say there should be less firefighting, getting less lost in details, but focusing on what we can change. There would be a lot of innovation, and there would be more conscious moving towards significant changes such as automation. And just in general, becoming more focused and more conscious of what we can do if we put an extra effort into it. Because I believe taking the extra steps and going the extra mile will make a difference to the organizations and to the individuals as well.
I think that's a great place to bring this really fantastic interview to a close. For shared service centres to achieve their true potential, they need many more people like you, Klára. So thank you very much for taking the time to join us today, and good luck in everything that you do in the future.
Thank you so much, Mark.